Okay, Fresno State, tough football game again. We knew, played out exactly how we thought it would at the end. Two teams that want to be physical, two teams that have tough-minded teams that have kind of gone back and forth on the year. And in the end of the day, it was obviously a frustrating loss for us. If you review the game, both offenses came out and played very well. Both defenses played very poorly early, and really a flip-flop in the second half. We scored quick 21 points, and then basically we're quiet for three quarters and almost all three quarters. So they score, get a couple scores, get another one. It's 21-14 at half. But I thought the defenses on both sides, if you look at the numbers that settled in, numbers of first downs, yardage, it was like 139 to 142 yards in the second half. Obviously, we didn't score. We got in the red zone, shot ourselves in the foot. Fresno stopped us. They got in the red zone, made a field goal, got down there again on a drive, and then obviously the turnover was the one that pretty much ended the football game. So if you're going to beat Fresno, you got to go in there and play four quarters, period. You got to find a way to make plays. You 3rd and 15, broken play, throw a ball to a wide receiver, miss 5 tackles, they score a touchdown. That's difficult to be able to win when you get in that spot. A lot of credit goes to the kid from Fresno, the quarterback, and number 6 who caught it and made the play. But they made that play, and that's a huge play in that football game, no matter how you cut it. So we'll continue to evaluate, we'll continue to look, and it's halfway through the season. It's been a tough season to say the least. It's been probably everything that you could imagine, but at the end of the day, we're not winning games, so we're not taking steps forward no matter how you cut it. So that's where we sit. The Fresno game was a tough one to lose. We're 0-1 in conference. There's a lot to play for the rest of the season. Great opportunity this week. Another team, good team. This league is going to be good every week now. It's shown it. It's proven to be on tape, and you can see everybody. You can see the way teams are playing. There's no team in this conference you can sit back and say, oh, that's not a good football team. If you do, you're wrong. So you don't know anything about football if that's what you're talking about. So there's good teams in this conference, and this is a team that is a lot like us. They've had a couple of very, very heartbreaking losses. One to Houston, one to Mississippi State, which you watch the tape, in my opinion, there's no question Louisiana Tech probably deserved to win the game, just like you can debate that in some spots that we've been in, but neither one of us did, so it's still a loss is a loss. So they'll be hungry off a bye week. This is about the 4th team in a row that's had extra time to prepare for us, so it is what it is, and we're excited to get out and get started on them today.
Was Fresno State any more physical than the teams you've played thus far?
Most physical. They're more physical than Auburn. The most physical team we've played up front, in my opinion. So on the offensive line there. And we knew that going in. That doesn't surprise me. There's Auburn's physical, BYU's physical. I thought Colorado State was physical. At the end of the day, they are. We've played some very physical football teams. But if you just ask me who's the most physical, which is the question, I think they are more physical. Their ineffectiveness running the football, for the year is a little bit of a relative statement. They've tried to throw the football this year and have thrown the ball very effectively down the field. And, I think his longest throw of the day was on us, was on the screen, the 23 yards or whatever that was. So, we protected it down the field for the big plays, but we had too many PIs. So, but they're a very physical football team, and they were on the other side of the ball too. So couldn't pass block them. So if we lined up all day long in 4 wides and tried to pass block them, it wouldn't have gone well, and it didn't in the last couple drives.
So your offensive line play, was this their worst game of the season? Even though they went against the most physical team?
I would say if you just sit back and you evaluate it from an offensive standpoint, we had big plays. We had a 30-yard pass, we had a 50-yard run, we had Michael had his big run. There's probably a minimum of a couple hundred yards of big play offense, which is what you want. That's great. It's great to get those plays. But we have to be able to sustain and maintain and run the ball consistently. That's when we've been at our best on offense this year. And our inability to pass protect them was obvious. So did we play well on the offensive front? No, we didn't play well on the offensive front. We need to be better.
You did have that one drive was 19 plays.
Yep, 0 points.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that was a drive where you did push the ball and run the ball, and
They did.
and threw the ball every once in a while and things.
Yep, made some nice plays on that drive, and that's, to me, the identity of a good football team and their ability to be able to take the next step on offense and defense and special teams is to do it consistently week in and week out. It's not rack up 600 yards on a given day and then the next week turn around and not be able to run the ball. And if you look at us and identify us and break us down on offense, we got to do it every week. I mean, you can't score 58 points and then turn around and score 14 points in regulation and expect to win, and then score 66 points and then turn around and score 14 points and 21 points, in a quarter and 2 minutes and continue to expect to win. And it's just the same on the defensive side of the football. You have to be consistent. You have to be able to play 4 quarters and find a way to keep points off the board and consistently move the football. Our time of possession, we're allowing. You look at the first half, and the time of possession is skewed. Now, in the first half, that's okay. It's skewed because of the big plays. You're scoring touchdowns, 21 points. I'll trade 21 points for time of possession any day of the week. But if you lose in time of possession and then you're not scoring, now all of a sudden you get yourself into a problem in a football game, and that's where it becomes a real issue for you.
Special teams, especially with the field goals.
Yeah, you're 0 for 3. The last one that's a great kick by Jake. I mean, he did a tremendous job of getting it up and spun himself into the ground. He kicked it so hard. That's all he's got. It's 53-yarder and it's right down the middle. And I guess it typifies the day that it bounces off the goalpost at the end, or we get a chance to kick an onside, and who knows, see what happens. Maybe we flip the Auburn game the other way in our favor, but it didn't take place. So that was tough to see. But the other ones, we got to make them, and it doesn't matter. We got to get the kick up, and we got to get the holds down. The snaps were good, and we got to make those kicks. The one that's a perfect snap and it's not put down perfect. Still an opportunity to make it, but we don't. And the other one, we don't get the ball up, and it's not like it's a 45-yarder where you have to drive it through. Just get the ball up. The wind was a non-factor, and it goes through the uprights. And so it's hard. We were 4 for 4 before that, and all of a sudden we turn around and we miss 3 in a row. So that's not good. That's kind of held its head there for us. Last year at Fresno, we missed 2 field goals too.
I don't want to put any words in your mouth, but after the game you were talking about maybe changes, or you were talking about evaluating all this. That has to happen, obviously, yesterday. That's your Sundays is when you come back. And every week, don't you go through and kind of reevaluate yourself every single week? But I was wondering if yesterday was anything different because of how you sounded after the game.
No, and I still feel the way I sounded. I did. We sat down as a staff and communicated about things, and to me, at the end of the day, we're 2.5 years into it, and you can say we're better, and the numbers say we're better, and I don't care. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter that the offensive numbers are this and the defensive numbers are this. Stats are for freaking losers, and bottom line is we're 2 and 4, and it's where we were a year ago. So we haven't gotten better, and we played a good schedule. Yeah, we've played a good schedule, and we've played people and this and all that other stuff. It doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is winning. So it's time for us. It's time for me first, and I always say me. I'm not talking about the kids when I say this. I'm talking about myself, and I'm talking about the other coaches to hold ourselves accountable and find a way to be able to win football games. And if we can't do that, then yeah, things need to change, period. I mean, that's where I'm at with it. So some people see it as a threat. Some people say that as me being a jerk. I don't really care what it makes people say. But I say it to myself first, and I'm saying it to the other guys that get paid to win football games, and that's the coaches. So
did you identify things yesterday then?
We didn't change anything. Middle of the season is not the time to sit back and change anything, obviously. And but we're on guard. So and we should be on guard. We all signed up for this profession now. I mean, we're the ones that put our names on the contract and signed up for this job. So if we can't deal with the situation that we're in, and we walked in here expecting to win football games, and we expect to build a program, and you build a program by winning. And if you don't win, then it is what it is. So that's my expectations, is to win. And we're in a good conference. Every team we play from here on out is going to be good. It's a very even conference, and we're going to have to earn our wins. There's no get-out-of-jail-free cards, and, these guys aren't very good. You're going to get a win this week. It's not going to happen. So, but I'll evaluate everything. Again, me and the assistant coaches, I'll evaluate the kids, but we need to keep recruiting our tails off like we do. We need to put the game plan together for the kids, and I would say this about the game. I think there was some nice adjustments made, not by myself on the defensive side of the ball. I thought there was some nice adjustments made to tweak it, to stop the easy access throws that they were getting on those first two drives and just kind of went down the field. I thought that the defensive guys did a nice job. We all did it together and tweaked some things and gave ourselves a chance to make some plays. And late down there at the end, I would call that call we called on the 3rd and 15 100 times out of 100. I mean, that's exactly what you want to have take place, and we didn't make a play there. So it's a very frustrating time for all of us, but it can't be frustrating for the kids. They're playing hard. They're busting their tails. It can hurt them, and it does hurt them. But it's my job to keep them rolling and keep playing hard. I'm excited about the opportunity to be able to play again. But those statements about myself and about the coaches it is what it is. I mean, again, we signed up for it, so it doesn't have anything to do with the players. They'll come out and play hard and do a nice job.
Okay.
What's that? He seemed to be, yeah. After the game, he looked fine, and yesterday he was fine, and so all reports coming back is he'll be ready to go. So I know he's upset with the way that he played and the way it went, but he's a competitor. I think he's learning every week, but I think physically he'll be fine.
Brady.
Still have to see. We lost both safeties in that whole game. Basically, you turn around. Walter was out for the majority of probably 2.5 quarters. Walter McClinton didn't play. Walter, I think, will be fine. He cramped. He had a little bit of a virus deal during the Friday and wasn't hydrated, I guess, enough. Cramped a little bit, so he missed quite a bit of the game. But McCade made a tremendous play, and he should be back though.
Was he hurt on that play?
Yeah.
So it was on that play.
Yeah. He was. If you saw him get up, he didn't quite get up, and he got up in sections a little bit, you could say. So he was. I don't know, but he'll be fine. He's a tough kid, and he'll be back. But I don't know the time frame on that. That'll have to be. He has to go through the protocol. So.
You're giving out midterm grades halfway through the season. What are a couple of the areas that need to improve the most?
I would say I'd like to see our wide receivers be more active in the football game. Period. Get the ball to them. So that's an area that I think we can improve. I think we did it, against Wyoming, and last week it kind of went away. But I'd like to see that be. When I talk consistent, that's what I'm talking. Is just consistently. We got some weapons. We got Matt. We got Chuck. We got Stanley. We got some guys out there, pretty good players. I'd like to see them be involved. So I don't really have a grade for you, but I'd like to see that become more of our offense as we develop. I'd like to see us pass protect better. Defensive side of the football, I'd like to see us just be more consistent in coverage and play techniques, play our ability to be able to find the football in the air. There's free access throws in every coverage, unless it's straight man every single snap, and that's not easy to do, especially right now. That's not who we are, but make them earn their way in those zone coverages. But when the opportunity is there to put our hand on the football, let's get our hand on the football and learn how to be better in the back end. And we did some of it better in the last game, but obviously the amount of PIs and the penalties we had back there was an issue. Although we were able to overcome almost all those as we moved through the game, but some of those have got to go away. So those are the two main areas I would see. Anything else?
Well, what about this game this week? We haven't really talked.
Yeah.
Specifically, they've got a true freshman quarterback as well that's running a spread offense. Is that?
Oh yeah, it's very, very, very spread offense. They're if you look at them, the frustrations that obviously that I have are echoing through their program without question. It was 27-7 against Houston, who's undefeated in the fourth quarter. Basically, I think it might have gone to 34-7. They end up losing that game. Mississippi State. They have 2 or 3 opportunities to have a great win at a SEC opponent's place, and the game goes into overtime, and they end up losing that game. So this football team is fast. I think last week was, if you look at Fresno overall, they're a very fast football team, ran very well, especially at the wideout position, and this team does too. They run extremely well, and there's not just one of them. There's 2 or 3 or 4 of them that run very well. I think the running back is a quality back. Their offensive line has improved from a year ago, and they have a very solid scheme. Defensively, they're going to line up and they're going to do what they do. They're going to line up and play quarters coverage against you, and we've got to find a way. If you want to be good in this conference, you got to find a way to beat quarters coverage because it's coming at you this week. It's coming at you against Nevada. It's coming at you against Hawaii. It's coming at you against Idaho. So we got to find a way to be able to put some points up against quarters coverage, which we've done some weeks, and other weeks we haven't done so well. So that's what they're going to do, and they're talented on defense just as they were a year ago. I apologize for not remembering the young man's name, but I know his number, which to me, I don't remember any kid's number, but I know 91's number. Yeah, he's the real deal at defensive end. He's a tremendous, tremendous player and plays the game the way it's supposed to be played, and I got a lot of respect for that kid, just as I do for the young man's the 77, Logan Harrell, that we played against last week. So those are two big-time defensive linemen, and we got to find a way to be able to control him.
Is the key still to them stopping Career, though, or not letting him go nuts to running back?
Yeah, they put 2 or 3 kids back there this year, and but he's a good back. He did a nice job last year against us. I thought he ran the ball well and had some success. So we've got to find a way to be able to deal with him, and then they've got a crew of wideouts, and the quarterback plays the game a lot like Chucky does, like a freshman does. It's competitive, confident. Believes he's going to go in there and turn around and get it done, and you can just see him play with that youthful excitement that those freshman quarterback that are having some success play with, and he's one of them. He go out there and he's going to play. He believes he can get it done, snap in and snap out. So I'm impressed with him.
Just got to come out. We got to finish our games. Felt like we had a good first half. We played well. Offensively, especially, we came out firing, and we were putting up points quick, making big plays, and we just didn't score in the second half at all. And anytime you don't really score in the second half, it's going to be tough to win a football game. So we got to execute a full game there, and then we just gotta finish games with that, and just gotta learn to win and finish games. I think we could do it. We just got to put it all together. So this is how I felt in that game. And then Louisiana Tech game is going to be a fun game. It's always they're always a tough team to play. They have a lot of athletes. They're also big and physical as well. So it's going to be a big physical game, just like we had against Fresno State. So we got to really prepare for that game. Fix the mistakes we had, and that caused us to lose the games we've lost this year, and basically come out, execute, and just believe we're going to win. We should, if we can do that and play a full game, we should be fine. So.
Let me ask you, how do you, as a player, or how do you feel this team responds to when you play teams over and over again, like conference games, and you played last year against Louisiana Tech and played horrible?
Yeah.
Do you come into this year talking about that, remembering that, and saying, hey, we can't let that happen again against these guys?
Yeah, we definitely remember that, especially like a conference game. You play them every year. You never want to, we had a terrible game against them last year, and, we remember that. We don't want to, we want to come out and, give it back to them, basically, to what they did to us last year, We felt like, that game, we just played terrible last year, and we know we could have done better. So this year we got to really come out and prove to them and, everyone else in our conference that, we are for real, So anytime you play teams that you play every year, you always want to come back next time and play them better than you did the year before. So.
You just heard Coach Anderson say wide receivers need to be more active. You want to speak to that as a wide receiver?
We got a lot of good receivers. We can make plays. Just all across the board, we're deep at that position, and I know our receiving core, and I know we're full of playmakers, and we want to win. And we bust our butt every time out there, and we got good hands. We can make plays. We're on our blocks. If you put on the film, we're always on our blocks, blocking hard, and we can make the catches. We got good, really good wide receivers, and if we get the passing game going, I know we could have some success there, and just. I know our receivers can make big-time plays, and so I'm looking forward to, us making big plays throughout the season, which can help us win some games.
How did you feel when you made one against Fresno? That was a great catch you made. Well covered on that play, too.
Thanks. Felt great, just before the play was called, I had a feeling it was going to come to me, and I wanted the ball to come to me. I want to make plays. It's just if you don't want to make plays, then you shouldn't be playing football. That's what it's all about, is getting out there and making plays. And when I saw the ball in the air, I had no doubt I was going to catch it, and I just went up and made a play on it. I just didn't let the DB make a play, and I wanted it more than him. So you just got, when the opportunity comes your way, you just got to make plays. So.
Like you hurt your shoulder on it.
Oh yeah, I got my ribs pretty good. I had already had bruised ribs, and I came down hard and bruised them pretty bad, but they're fine. So it knocked the air out of me, I'm not gonna lie. So it took me a little bit to kind of regain my breath, but just all that mattered to me was making the play on the ball that was in the air. So.
And then they came back to you later, and you threw another ball to you.
Yeah, I did catch another one later in the game. So I'm glad Chuck was able to see me when he scrambled. I saw he scrambled, so I took off down the field, and I was glad he was able to get the ball there, and I just made a play on it. So.
In order for you guys to go to the bowl, you're going to have to be consistent from week to week, and then I think on the road, I'm thinking you guys have to play with a little more energy than you do at home. And I don't know about you, but what are your thoughts on taking that energy on the road, and what have you seen when you guys have played on the road? Do you feel like you're playing with more energy than you do at home?
Energy-wise, I think a game is a game, whether we're at home or away. I think we're going to come out with energy, and our goal is to win. And just it's just sometimes you don't end up winning. That's just how the game of football is. They made big plays when big plays needed to be made, and we didn't. So it's just, it all comes down to just us making plays at the end of the day. They made at the end of the game when they had that screen that went for a touchdown. That was big for them, and offensively we didn't make any plays to score. So we didn't score in the second half, like I had said, and it comes down to we didn't execute or make enough plays, and Fresno did. They won the game, and that's just kind of how things have gone with us. We've had a few bad breaks, but I feel like, on the road we're just as good at home. We just need to go out and finish games. We've played some tough teams on the road, and they've made plays. So I think everything will be fine. I think we'll be great in the future. So.
First, I just want to give all the glory to God. I know it's another tough loss for us, but I know He's going to find a way to pull us through for the rest of these games. But Fresno game is it was a very tough game. Like, we came out, we was ready. Like, we had the energy and everything ready for going to the game. It's a big conference game. Like, if you're not ready for that game, then I don't know what the problem is. But we had the energy coming out, but it was kind of like, especially on defense, it was just kind of like, I don't know, it was real fast pace. Cause I know we knew Fresno was fast, but they were super fast on offense. But things kind of settled in like later in the second quarter. Hopefully this thing was gonna settle in faster. We was up 14-0 on them. Got a turnover off them when Cato got on the fumble in their red zone. We got up 14-0. The next series, it would have been great if we would have just, made a play somehow, got the offense the ball back, or maybe made them punt. But, they came down and scored, and that just gave them momentum back that, this gave them a little bit more belief, that they're like, okay. They probably in their head felt like it was like, oh, this is Utah State, the same Utah State team from the past, So, but, it was a tough loss. It's just got to finish these games. That's the main thing. It's been the same story all season. Just got to finish. But I believe that we will. So.
At Louisiana Tech, do you have any feelings about the game last year? How it went and playing them this year and things?
Yeah, Louisiana Tech. Last year I felt like, after the BYU game, then going to play Louisiana Tech at their house last year. We felt like that was the game that was gonna. It could have easily just changed the way how the season went. We could have went from what was it? We was 2-3. Then we could have won that game. Would have been 3-3. But we just I don't know. It was like we just canned that game. I don't know what it was. Just I don't know what it was, just kind of like a fog, I feel like. But I just remember that game. I mean, they made a lot of big plays with their running back, and they had the receivers.
Wildcat against
yeah, they ran
receivers and all that stuff.
Yeah, they was running wildcat. They was just trying to do everything just to get their playmakers the ball in their hands the majority of the game. But I mean, I don't know. It was tough. That was a tough loss last year also. But I mean, this year, I mean, it's the same offense, same coordinator, same personnel. I know the quarterback's different, but I know they're gonna try to, maybe like just dish it out to the skill guys again. Try to get Creer the ball a lot. I mean, he's a real good back, solid dude. But I mean, you just got to be prepared for anything. So.
Fresno challenged your secondary right from the very first play. What can you take from that game going forward from the way they did that?
I mean, we knew that was going to happen. Like, especially they're going to test the outside with the corners because I mean that's what they did with Idaho and Nebraska. Like, we knew their skilled receivers, the guys we knew they was fast, and we knew they was super athletic. So like, it wasn't no surprise what they was going to do. But I mean, I don't know. It's just tough. Those guys made the plays. They got PIs, and I mean it's tough calls. But I mean at the same time, you just got to learn just to go play for play, blow for blow. So, but I mean it was a solid game though by the corners. I mean I give their head up. I mean those guys are pretty good. Those receivers from Fresno. So.
When did you start ramping up?
Actually before the game, that the whole day Saturday, I just had like food illness. I guess it was like kind of like food poisoning, and I don't know if it's from the medicines I was taking or I don't know, just from throwing up. I don't know if I had enough food in me. Like I had enough liquids in me, but it was just I don't know. My body was just I don't know. It couldn't like handle it or something. But yeah, I was trying to force myself to play, but my body was just telling me no, kind of. But I know I just gotta watch what I eat next time. So.
I guess my question is about emotion and what kind of a factor that's playing in how you guys are playing. How much of a factor is emotion and the body language on the sideline at this point? Is that a factor in how you guys are playing, or is it something that needs to improve? What is it from your perspective?
I feel like emotion definitely needs to, take place like in a lot positive manner. I mean, I feel like when the team, like we was winning, and I guess on the sideline, coaches were saying like it seemed like that we was playing not to lose and not, instead of to win, even on the defensive side. It was just, I mean, in watching film, you can kind of see it, but I know emotion in this game has a lot to do with like just being like, oh, I hope this doesn't happen again. And I think it's just, having fear of just like, well, what if this happens, and instead of just going out there and then doing it, like Coach A said, it's all about just us making plays when it's time to make plays instead of those guys. Like Fresno State made a play, BYU made a play, Auburn made plays when it came down to it. Colorado State made plays. It's just when are we going to come down and make that last play when it's time to win the game or turn the game around. So, emotion has a lot to do with it also, though. I just feel like that is we have to believe more. Like this is not the same Utah State team from the past. I mean, I know you look at statistics all over, like in all categories. I mean, it's like off the charts than the old Utah State team. So, but I mean, I think we just have to believe more in ourselves, and I feel like the coaches have to believe in ourselves too, and just with everything that's going on. But I feel like I feel like we're going to be fine. We're going to progress from this stuff.